Hello everyone. Welcome to Beast World tonight. I'm Lexus Chan. It's my honor to be today's MC for you. So glad to meet you, our friends, especially our new friends who is the first time to join our fantastic sharing tonight. So thank you so much. And please also leave the message in the live chat to welcome all our new friends here. And where are you now? Are you in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, or Oceania, or even Africa and Europe? Welcome everyone from around the world. Okay, so tonight our main channel in the Zoom is in English, but if you want to have the interpretation, we already prepared for you. So we have Bahasa Indonesia and also the Mandarin and also the Khmer for our audience. Okay, so just click the button at the right corner and to select the one you need. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. So today's topic is very important. Okay, this topic shall cover the discussion on a health topic, which may giving you and your family a very important hint to enjoy a healthy, happy, and harmony lifestyle. Okay, so everyone want to be healthy, okay? But different group of people will have different demand and different answer, okay? For adult, they may want to keep having a disease-free life, okay? And keep energetic whole day, no matter during your working time or after work relax time, okay? And the people like sports, okay, like doing sport like you, will want to have an optimal stamina and a better sport performance. For elder, they may want to have a longevity and also optimal energy to enjoy their colorful life. Okay, for our elder group and also for the kid, they may want to improve the concentration and the memory. Okay, so how to have a healthy life? This is a big question. Okay, to keep doing sport or exercise, yes, this is the way. And to keep a regular work and rest schedule, yes, another way. But is it enough? Yeah, I think the most important, the key is what you eat. Okay, we need to eat every day. But did you consider and think about whether the food you are having is only to satisfy your mouth or to satisfy your body needs, especially your body cell? Yeah, body cell is the basic of the body. Yeah, in case the body cell is fitted proper, then your body and energy level will be in an optimal condition. So tonight, we are so proud to invite a gentleman who is the chairman of board and chancellor, University of Natural Medicine in USA. Okay, great. And also, he is also a member of Beast World Smart Lab panel. Okay, he will help us to unlock the secret of optimal health, the spark of life. Okay, let's welcome Dr. Mark Dargan Smith. Hello, Dr. Mark.
Hello, can you see me okay?
Yeah, hello, Dr. Mark.
Wait a minute, I think I've got the
Great
wrong,
to meet you.
um, I don't see here. Hold on.
Yeah, Dr. Mark has a handsome face here. Every day, energetic, and always young, Dr. Mark.
Well, thank you so much, Lex. I'm trying to get my video going here on this. Uh-oh. See, I had a problem today. Last night, my computer crashed. First time in 13 years. and I just got it back, and now I'm using 2 computers, so I'm gonna have to cut one out. Oh, darn.
Okay, so you can mute one the sound on one computer, then to use the other one. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, now better.
I don't think so. Hold on 1 second. Because you can't see my whole face, right?
Yeah.
This is very strange. Can you see me okay?
Oh, great. A handsome young man, Dr. Mark, welcome tonight.
Thank you very much. Like, well, I'm still getting that reverb, aren't I? Is it okay? Sound okay?
Still have a little bit echo, so
I'm going to actually turn this one off for now. Because it's muted.
yeah.
That's any better. Is that better? No.
Can you switch to other microphone?
Yeah, well, I'm on that mic. Not working properly. Let me go back to this one. Let me cut this one off.
Okay, so tonight will be very important for Dr. Mark. Dr. Mark, are you in Malaysia?
No, actually,
Oh.
It's one camera. This is so funny. One camera is
Yeah, still have echo, so you can turn off one computer's voice. Yeah.
I'm going to shut this one all together. Hello?
Hello, Dr. Mark.
Yes. Okay, I got my video. Huh. It'll let me share screen, but oh, this is frustrating. Sorry, everyone. I'll get it together here in just a second.
Okay, so today Dr. Mark will be ready to share us more information about our body health and also especially what food our body cell needs. So it's very important for you and your family. So if you like this information, like tonight's sharing, just share the link to the one, maybe your friend, maybe your family member, to know more and join us tonight. Yeah. So Dr. Mark, okay. Can you test your voice?
Second, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm not sure why the video isn't working. Because you can't see me, right?
Yeah.
You can hear me, but not see me, correct?
Yeah. Now clear.
Clear.
Yeah.
Oh, because I can't see myself. Maybe that's good.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ma. Okay, so before you're sharing, I would like to share more information to our audience tonight. Okay, so during Dr. Mark's sharing, if you have any question about tonight's topic, just leave the message in the live chat. Then after Dr. Mark's sharing, we will have the question and answer session. Then Dr. Mark may answer your question, okay, and give you more information about have a healthy life. Okay, so just have any question, just leave it here.
Okay, can you see the screen now? Is that sharing?
Yeah, Dr. Mark.
Okay, you can see the screen. Well, good. You don't have to look at me. You just get to see the PowerPoint. Okay. Are we good?
Thank you, Dr. Mark.
Are we good to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I had a little bit of a catastrophe last night. My hard drive just died for the first time in 13 years on my MacBook Air. So I spent the whole day trying to get it fixed. Finally, I just bought a new computer. And so I'm just getting the feel of it. But anyway, don't want to waste your time. Just good evening, good morning to everyone, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. And it's been some difficult times. I'm so glad to be back in touch face to face, at least we're able to be Zoomies here and share what we can. And so tonight I'd like to give a little presentation about this wonderful product, AlphaMeta. And then we're going to open up to Q&A because I love answering questions, and hopefully I'll have some answers for them. That's the most important part. But as like Lexi said, it's a great introduction. Thank you very much for that presentation. It's all about energy. That's what the whole world is about, energy. You can't think of anything that exists that doesn't require energy. And when it comes to human beings, guess where that comes from? It comes from our cells, those mitochondria. Those are the powerhouse of all the energy in our body. The key about that is everything has to do with the cell. That's the core. That's the essence of our being. And we have trillions of them. So many of them die every day, and they need to be regenerated. The other thing is they need the fuel, and they need the building blocks in order to not only create that energy, but to make new ones. And that's why the AlphaMeta is such an incredible product, and that's what I want to share with you tonight. Another thing that I'm going to get into, and I'll touch on briefly, it's been some very difficult times with this bug that's out there and about. I hope none of you lost loved ones or dear friends. And it's been very difficult for many people. And I want to explain why AlphaMeta is so beneficial with regards to the immune system. You know, in my opinion, everybody gets exposed to the bug. We all have it. I mean, it's like so many other bacteria. You know, we have more bacteria in our body than we have cells. Isn't that interesting? Good bacteria, bad bacteria, you know, they're in a constant, I wouldn't call it a battle, but they're working with our immune system and our bodies to determine how they're going to affect us. So it's like everybody was exposed to the bug, but why did some people get serious symptoms and other people not? I must say, everybody I know who takes AlphaMeta, if they did get affected by this bug, I'll just keep calling it a bug, okay? Their symptoms were pretty mild. And I always make this joke, it's probably not so good in many respects, but, you know, of all the people who take AlphaMeta, not one person that I know of died. At least they didn't call me and let me know that they died. So bad joke, but so what I want to do, I'll get right into it because I only want to take about 30 to 40 minutes and with this presentation.
Excuse me, Dr. Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, excuse me, Dr. Mark. Can you switch to the mic of other computer because right now the voice is not clear. So can you switch to the mic to other computer? Yeah.
That may take.
Sorry, everyone. Please hold on.
Have to boot it back up. Not clear what ways. It's hold on a second. Okay, let me go into Zoom. Join a meeting. Okay. Join. Passcode was 222333. Is that what I call? So the sound is still off, huh? Okay, let me start video. And where's the mute? Where's the sound? Okay, you got can you hear me?
Still not clear. So previously you are using two computer, right? The other computer, the microphone and also the voice setting will be better. Yeah.
How's
it?
Let me move this computer. Sorry. Now, how's
okay? So yeah, now getting more clear.
How's that?
Yeah, great, amazing. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mark.
The problem with this one is the presentation is not linked, and so I'll just have to go through it, but it'll work. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right,
thank you,
go
Dr.
back to full screen. Everything good now?
Yeah, everything good.
All right, let me find full screen. Sorry, guys. You know, I'm not one of those young tech guys. We're of the old school. Standard full screen, exit full, it says full screen. Okay. All right. So let's get right into it. And enough of my jabbering. Oh, shoot. What happened now? I lost it, huh? Share screen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Bum, 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 bum. What happened? Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. I got off for some reason. Uh-oh, that's not it. What's going on here? There it is. Okay. All right, we back? Hello?
Yeah, hi, Dr. Ma.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we ready to go?
Yes.
All right, how's it sound? Good?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, everything okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
it's all
share the
about-
screen again, huh? Dr. Ma. Yeah,
It's
share
not
the screen
showing?
again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not showing.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, share screen. How's
Yeah, now
that?
it's okay. Yeah,
All
yeah, thank
right.
you. Amazing.
Sound good? Video
Yeah,
good?
please continue. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, everyone. Our apologies. Like I said, I'm just not a high-tech individual. Anyway, so we're here. You know, it's all about the spark of life, which we're going to be talking about tonight, and why AlphaMeta supplies that, and why it's one of the core essential ingredients that you need in order to have energy and to have optimal life. So when we look at it, so what is optimal health? Well, disease-free, of course, optimal stamina and vitality, minimal premature aging. Now, you know, I don't like the word anti-aging because we're all going to age. We just want to age with quality and quantity of life there, which you see. I mean, you know, you can be 40 or 50 and be disease-ridden and indolent, and it's horrible. Or you can be 120 and just have optimal health. And that's what we are aspiring for. But it's not so much the quantity, it's the quality that matters most of all, because what we have is now. And a feeling of well-being and happiness. That's what we all want to have in our lives. And to have that, we have to be healthy. If we're not healthy, can we be happy? So our food should be our medicine be our food. That Hippocrates was the father of medicine. This was like way back when. And look at his words. To begin with, should have been the focus of medicine. Now keep in mind, medicine comes from the root word medici, which means to heal. We're supposed to be healing people, right? So optimal nutrition is the medicine of the future. Now, many of you have seen this before. This was Linus Pauling. Linus Pauling was the developer of vitamin C, and we know how beneficial vitamin C is for so many conditions and for health overall. And by giving the body and the cells the right molecules, optimum nutrition, most diseases would be eradicated. Now, isn't that interesting? It's simple and as straightforward as you can be. And it's like you said, Lex, it's all about nutrition. That's a big part of it. There's so many other factors in health, and we'll get into those as well, but it's just the core. You know, many people say we are what we eat. Well, we're also what we assimilate, which I'm going to be talking about as well. And that's very important. Nutrients, oxygen and water, you know, the fuel sources, the nutrients, the materials to build, repair, and rejuvenate. Enzyme production. We're going to be talking a lot about enzymes because they're the spark of life. That's what it comes down to. They're like the automobile. You've got to have that spark to ignite that fuel, right? Well, that's what our enzymes are. And keep in mind, even antioxidants are enzymes. Superoxide dismutase, glutathione, all of those. Hormone production, that keeps us balanced. That keeps us happy, right? In many ways. Energy, ATP, that's the core. Oxygen, we got to have oxygen. It's like I always say, and I'm going to talk a little fast because I got a slow start here, so I got to catch up. Like the turtle catching the hare, right? So oxygen, how long can we go without food? How long can we go without water? How long can we go without air? Oxygen is the key, you know, that's the combustor too. Oxidation, anabolism. Anabolism is the building up of the body. You have catabolism, which is the degeneration, the breaking down. ATP, enzyme through the mitochondria, generation of energy by the cells. Now keep in mind, the real core about AlphaMeta is cellular energy. And it even has a patent for that. So that's the essence of the AlphaMeta. We'll be talking about that. Water, so essential. You know, biochemical activity, temperature control, transport media, lubricants, energy production. If you look at it, everything comes down in the bottom line there, energy production, right? Because you have to have cellular detoxification, cellular repair of all those cells that get damaged by antioxidants and all the chemicals and toxins we're constantly exposed to. And we can't get away from it. Unfortunately, it's our planet today. Cellular regeneration and cellular protection, such a key. We're going to be talking about the research we did to show the cellular protection. So what is this functional food AlphaMeta, and why is it the spark of life? The alpha polysaccharide peptide. Now keep in mind, polysaccharides are basically the carbohydrates. Peptides are the amino acids, but these, which will be presenting, are bioavailable and go right into the cell for the food and the rebuilding. So ATP bioenergy production, you need enzymes, metabolism regulation. As we've mentioned all these before for the cell, they're all key. And excuse me if I run through this a little bit quick, but I want to get to the core. Functional food for the cell, best alternative for the cells, and optimal health. Instant raw material supply, instant energy, instant absorption. Basically, AlphaMeta is pre-digested to a certain extent, and that's a mechanical process, no chemical use whatsoever, to make it what they call bioavailable for your whole gastrointestinal system. And it's recognized by the body cell. You know, there was a study done, I think it was at Cambridge in England, where they showed that these cells actually are capable of recognizing or rejecting certain foods. Isn't that interesting? Every cell in your body is a whole universe. You know, I always say we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. You know, you can look out the stars sometime and think about all those being the cells inside your body. And that's what we are. We're little light beings, every cell in our body. I'll say this real quick. There was a study done where they took the cell and they broke it down into molecules, into atoms. And then there was basically no material left. And you know what came out? There was only light there. Isn't that interesting? The core, the essence of the cell is light, which shows we are light beings. That's what it's all about. So superfood that provides energy, raw materials to body cell, enhancing self-healing power. You know, AlphaMeta is not a drug, and it doesn't heal or cure anything. What it does, though, it gives the body the power to heal itself. We've got what's called the innate wisdom. You know, in our naturopathic, chiropractic, osteopathic training, we learned that it's all the innate wisdom of the body. You know what it does all the time, all the millions of processes that go on. We're not aware of it. It's just that there's this innate wisdom inside us that just does it. So functional food for the cell, the alpha PSP, heritage food for human beings. When you think about it, especially Asia and many other countries too, rice has been the core of nutrition forever. Recognized by the cells, digestible, absorbable, and hypoallergenic. You know, that's very, very important because nowadays, because of the GMO and because, which I'll explain later too, the rancidity and oxidation of grains, rice is so important and is hypoallergenic. So many people are allergic to wheat. I've done hundreds and hundreds of food allergy tests, not on just kids, people of all ages, and wheat comes up almost every time as some degree of allergies. So, you know, you might want to try avoiding it. Most of it just goes into fat anyway, rather than being utilized by the cell, because the cell doesn't recognize it anymore. Two reasons. For one, it's rancid, and the other one, most of it's GMO. And I can tell you the cell just basically, and they've shown that, does not recognize GMO. That's why it has allergies to it. So anyway, heritage food for generations, first food supplement for the baby. Isn't that interesting? Usually in the past, in history, they always had the baby start out on a rice gruel. When people get sick, oh, the rice porridge is just, you know, that's one of the first foods that they would use for centuries. Food for you when you're uncomfortable, digestive disturbances. Hey, just go on AlphaMeta and go on rice porridge, and you'll be amazed at just how beneficial and how soon your whole system recovers. AlphaMeta, patented technology, stabilization technology. Now, I want to explain, because I don't know of anybody else in the world that has a rice, an alpha PSP, where they've been able to stabilize it like the company that provides this product does. Now, what this does prevents oxidation of raw material, and I'm going to show you what that's about. Maintains the freshness, high pressure and low temperature, prevents deterioration of nutrients. Now, this stabilization process is proprietary. Like I said, I don't know of any other company in the world that's been able to fully accomplish this. Here is the difference. Look at the rice under high powered microscope there, the molds on it of rice, and look at the fresh rice. That's the difference, you know, the rancid, oxidized, and that's for wheat, that's for barley, that's for basically any grain. Why do I know that? Why do I say that? Because we did a study in basically 5% oxidation of grains. They do not feed that to pigs anymore. And if it's basically, I mean, people do, but they're not supposed to by Canadian law. Anything above 5% rancidity, you're not supposed to feed to the animals. Well, look at this. Look at white rice. In just 3 to 5 hours, look at the difference immediately. And look at after 2 weeks, the rancidity is like 5 times what it should be. And I don't discourage people from eating white rice, but I certainly encourage them not to. If you can get brown rice or any of the wonderful rices that are out there today just for staple food, even brown rice, you know, once it's hulled, look what happens. But to stabilize brown rice, look after 2 weeks, even after 2 months, even after 2 years, and even more, never reached above that 5%. Now, this is science, you know, that's what's, and this is just one level of research, and I'll be sharing the rest of the research that we have. Excuse me, that's the key to any product, I feel, is not just hype. You've got to have the research to prove your claims. Excuse me. AlphaMeta patented technology, the mechanical hydrolysis, which I mentioned earlier, to pre-digest this so that it's immediately absorbed on a molecular level for instant optimum absorption. There's none wasted. That's the great thing about AlphaMeta. It's just not wasted. The body's going to use every bit of it, either for energy or as a building block. That's all there is to it, which is fantastic. Enzyme and chemical free, so important. You think about hydrolyzation, so much of it out there is just bunk because they use chemicals to do so. This has no chemicals. Somebody's requesting remote control of the screen. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, we'll deny it for now. AlphaMeta premium raw material, non-GMO strain of rice. This is so important. GMO has some very serious side effects, and the research now is showing so much more. So premium strain of seed selection. I wish you all could go to Thailand sometime to the Seed Institute outside of Bangkok, about an hour. They have just columns and columns of ancient seeds that they're preserving. And all of them are non-hybrid, you know, they're just basically native strains. And that's where your product, this product, AlphaMeta, comes from. 1 year cultivation period, which means one crop a year. Most of this rice is grown on soil and they get 2, 3, some even more um, harvests a year. They cannot have the amount of nutrition that only one a year has. So, and it's very exclusive. I can say that the company, we have thousands, literally thousands of organic farmers in northern Thailand under contract to produce this. Now, and I'm going to explain a little bit about organic because it's very important. You know, I hear so many people, well, how do you know what's organic and what isn't? Well, I can tell you what, if it goes through United States and European and Thai organic certification, it's real because they come and they sleep with you. They stay throughout the whole period. Now, this includes cultivation, harvesting, processing, transportation, inventory, which means they watch you prepare the soil, and all of it has to be natural. Most of the farmers there have their own frog farm to be natural, their own ducks, their own fish. And, you know, you walk out into the fields and ducks are laying their eggs out there. So they take care of the insects and the frogs do as well. And it's all harvested by hand. It's just what's so beautiful about it. I wish you could see the video. I've been there many times and, oh, these people are just so, they're just so sincere and they put so much care into their work and into their production. AlphaMeta premium raw material, no chemical fertilizer, eco-balanced cultivation, no pesticides, no herbicides, natural biological control. That is what is so important. Now, I won't be able to pull it up because it's on my other computer, unfortunately, the new one, which I'm not master at yet. But I just want to bring this up. Many people say, well, why is organic so important? Well, I can tell you one reason in particular, which is so important, and I hope you listen to this. It's called glyphosates. It is the main chemical in herbicides called Roundup. Roundup is one of the most heinous substances on this planet. It has caused so much autism, cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and many other conditions that are just, the research just hasn't even stopped. It's just begun to uncover. Now, keep in mind, most countries still use it. They may call it something else, but it's still glyphosate. And what it does, basically, it has a substance in it that stops production of your main amino acids, which are key to the building blocks of your cells. It also destroys your enzymes. It can also destroy the beneficial bacteria within your GI tract. It has so many side effects. And I must say, probably majority of rice grown today that isn't organic, they use Roundup, unless a country has banned it. Europe's banned it. But it still gets in. That's what's so amazing. It's like a black market that they pick it up still, even in countries that it's supposed to be banned. So it's, and you know who owns it? Monsanto is basically the main producer of glyphosate. They're also one of the main producers of, guess what? GMO seeds, GMO plants. These plants are grown or genetically modified to be able to resist being killed by the Roundup. Isn't that interesting? Guess who owns it? Bayer. Everybody knows Bayer, Bayer aspirin, whatever. Big pharmaceutical company. Guess who owns them? Vanguard. I won't get into the politics here. Bill Gates, the people who are supposedly giving vaccinations to heal the world. Here they are killing the world. So you just have to take things into perspective here. The beautiful thing about AlphaMeta is you're not going to get any of Roundup in it. It's not even close. It's very protected fields. So these are some of the endorsements of this product, just to show how credible it is, how real and how beneficial, and these people know it. Ministry of Science and Technology, Thailand, New Innovation Agency, Thailand. I've been there for some of the awards that have been awarded for this product by the New Innovation Agency, and they're one of the top agencies in all of Thailand. International Rice Research Institute, they've done some wonderful research in conjunction with us. International Collaborative International Universities, Chorei Hospital, Emory University School of Medicine, and Pramanglu Kadlayao. I'm terrible at Thai names, but School of Medicine, where we did some wonderful research, which I'll be showing you soon. International certificates, many. We could go into those, but you can see the organic here, European, USDA, and Halal certificate, Singapore Healthier Choice Program, for those of you from Singapore who know what that's about. International certifications, these are important. They just don't give these away, you know, you've got to earn these and you've got to be real. Microorganism free, heavy metal free, safe for consumption. These are done by independent labs. You can see this SGS. It's the largest lab that I know of for this type of testing in the world. We use them for many things, and they're the biggest and the bestest. And they just don't put out information that they know is not accurate. And this monkey, I think you know who he is, but you know, I've known this product, these people, the manufacturer, for 30 years now. And I got to say, I've been using the product. I had a integrated medicine practice for 30 plus years, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I also practice around the world. I had a clinic in Malacca, Malaysia. I could go on, New Zealand, but use this product for so many conditions. And I've never seen anything that has as overall benefit with absolutely no side effects. I always tell people, hey, this is a food. This is a functional food. It's not a drug. Every drug has side effects. I don't know a drug that doesn't have some side effect, right? And here's the inventor and developer, Dr. Somchai Boonchuan, which I'm sure some of you know. He's just literally a genius. I always say, Dr. Somchai, I know why you lost your hair so young. It's because your brain's always burning. But here's what he says: energy determines the survival of all life. That's the key. Low energy and energy metabolism problems are the main cause of our body impairment. It gets down to that core metabolic syndrome. That's 85% of disease today. No drug can reverse it. It can slow it down, but it cannot reverse it. It cannot help the body heal and overcome that. AlphaMeta provides a solid base to support good health and keep our body cells active and alive. Amazing food, spark of life, ready to use, basic fuel to stimulate cell vitality, energy booster, and energy sparkling within 30 seconds. We've shown some, muscle testing, kinesiology, that people can actually feel power by putting it under their tongue or even drinking it. In 30 seconds, they're getting the energy from it, which is pretty phenomenal. I mean, if you think about that, it hasn't gone through the GI tract, so it just has to be immediately absorbed. And also, it's an energetic frequency. There's just, everything has an energetic frequency. We all do. So who is AlphaMeta for? People say, well, I don't know that I need it, but what about prevention? All those factors. When you look at it, everybody can use it. And I'm going to explain why that is so important. You look at young people, old people, aged people, people with disease, hormone regulation, stimulating the metabolic enzyme production and source of amino acids, production of the sex hormones. It's known that in America that I think it's 80%, I think that's the number. I'm terrible at numbers, but it's up in that range of men over the age of 45 have erectile dysfunction. You know what that means? That's amazing. We should be going until we're 100 plus. I won't say how long, but this is what hormones are all about: strengthen muscle, bone mass, stamina, improves libido, sex drive, and progesterone, estrogen. Look at that, having a balanced hormone production, reduce risk of heart, and tumor diseases, better sleep quality, reduce menopause syndromes, and promote skin beauty. I always say this is beauty from within. You know, that's what the key is. We can put all kinds of creams and leathers and solutions on the outside skin, but that's basically what it's affecting. We still have to produce and regenerate those cells. You know, every time you shake somebody's hand, you're probably getting a few dead cells when you think about it, because we're constantly shedding. We're worse than a snake. A snake only does it, what, I don't know how often, but we're constantly shedding. Our skin's constantly dying and regenerating. What if we don't have the food for that regeneration? It's not going to happen. See, that's what it's all about, optimal health. So strengthening immunity. This is key right now with what's going on with, it's just, I keep referring it to the bug, all right? I don't want to get into political hot water. Strengthening immunity, that's what it's all about. When you think about immunity, like I said earlier, you know, it's all about the immune system. Everybody's exposed to it. Why do some people get more ill than others? Because their immune system is not activated. You know, it's not empowered. And you look at this, activate the immune cells, the T cells, the NK cells, which are able to strengthen immune response to the body, regulating and balancing the cytokine storm action in body to reduce the severe body inflammation due to that immune response. One thing I want to say is almost all diseases have an inflammatory cause, okay? COVID, inflammation, that's what it's all about. Cytokine storm, creating this inflammation, which is so key. And what we need is something that doesn't overstimulate the immune system, because it already is. It's something that modulates. Modulates means basically you're balancing, not too low, not too high. You want to have it just doing the job it needs to do. Help prevent hypoxia condition, you know, not enough oxygen, strengthen immunity, fight bacteria and virus, best function of food for the body, prevention during this critical period. Anti-aging, well, you know, that's a word, like I said, I'm not too hot on the word anti-fighting it. I think we just need to enhance it and have a wonderful quality of life, no matter what quantity it is. You know, if we're 45, if we're 50, I'm 70, and I feel I'm 40, but it's a matter of quality, you know, getting the right nutrition and the right we'll talk about that later. But prevention, reversal of heart disease, blood sugar, Alzheimer's, degeneration of cells, inflammation, digestion and elimination problems. So many people have those, kidney problems, hormone deficiency and imbalance, low libido. My gosh, if I had low libido, I don't know if I'd be as happy as I am. Metabolic dysfunction, okay? Here's what it all comes down to. Metabolism is the way your body digests, utilizes food, and what it does with it. You know, that's the key. And dysfunction, cause of chronic diseases, cause of premature aging, cause of syndrome X. You know, what's syndrome X? Here it is, 85% of illness today. Hyperglycemia, hyperinsulinemia, creating lipogenesis, which is fat. You know how much obesity there is in the world today? I just read where America is like 65% now. Imagine that, 65%. And look what it leads to here, you know. It can affect the immune system. It can affect the DHEA hormone production, degeneration disease at the cellular level, and leading to diabetes, neurological disorders such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, so many of them, coronary heart disease, you know, heart problems, stroke, heart attacks. And let me mention this real quick, and I want you to listen to this. My associate is chief stem cell science, retired from Johns Hopkins Medical University, one of the foremost in the world. In fact, Singapore hired her just on the side to be their chief evaluator for stem cells. She and I have been talking about how it has become pervasive. Young people are just falling dead, whether it's from the virus, long-term virus, or whether it's from the vaccination. Nobody knows. We won't get into the politics here in this situation. but hearts are degenerating. Every cardiovascular doctor I speak to say that the myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart, it's just become pervasive. I mean, just yesterday I was reading where a 18-year-old college football player, healthy as could be, killed over dead. You know, you read about, we don't know the cause. We don't know the cause. Heart just stopped. Well, it's happening everywhere. Soccer players around the world. I mean, some of the healthiest people in the world anyway. But very important. The AlphaMeta can help protect you there. It can keep the circulation going. Obesity, allergies. We know, obesity may be the number 1 cause of death in the world. People say, no, it's heart disease. Oh, no, it's cancer. Well, when you think about it, you look at obesity, how much more prone they are to disease. It's just phenomenal. So let's see, I'm going to go till about 8:30, if that's okay. I got a little bit of a late start here, so I hope that's all right. Lexus, is that okay? All right. Hyperglycemia, hypercholesteremia, uricemia, the kidneys, hypertriglycerides, all those conditions are basically related to metabolic syndrome. 85%. What is that? That's the digestive system, right? That's the enzymes in your body. They're all important. Metabolic dysfunction, increased inflammation, increased free radicals, poor health condition, it's directly related. Fundamental imbalances, what creates this? Diet, nutrition, exercise trauma, immune inflammatory imbalance, energy production, oxidative stress, gastrointestinal imbalances, the microbiome, leaky gut syndrome. I'm going to just touch on that a little bit. Detoxification and biotransformation, hormonal neurotransmitter imbalances, structural imbalances, mind, body, spirit. It's so important. They need to be connected together. And I just want to say, I want to apologize to all the translators tonight, because I know I'm just rattling along pretty fast, but I want to get through this. And if you really want me to slow down, I will. But so I hope you're not having too much difficulty. Formation of free radicals, those are the key. Too much UV light, mitochondria imbalances, the inflammation, white blood cells, air pollution, smoking. I just always say it's radiation. Smoking is probably the biggest contributor to illness on the planet today. I can't think of anything that leads to more degenerative disease. And I want to say very clearly, it's not the tobacco. It's the 100 plus carcinogenic chemicals they put in every cigarette and how they grow it. I used to grow tobacco in Kentucky. I had a big farm in Kentucky back in the heyday, and we grew a lot of tobacco. And because we all had a certain allotment every year. And that's before I became an integrated medical doctor. But with so many chemicals, oh my gosh, you just cannot imagine the number of chemicals they put on every tobacco plant. I won't get into it, but you can look it up. But it's all about antioxidants, fight disease-causing free radicals. Okay, that's what is key. Antioxidants, like glutathione. Now keep in mind, as I said earlier, glutathione is glutathionase. Think about that. Catalase, superoxide dismutase. ACE means enzymes. Okay, we all know what antioxidants do. They're the key to protecting our whole body. And 85% of antioxidant production has to come from your liver. Guess what? AlphaMeta provides just the right amino acids to create these antioxidants. 85%. You can just take handfuls of antioxidants from pills and every other source, and you're only getting about 15% of your body's daily need. Isn't that interesting? It has to come from the liver. Leaky gut syndrome. I wish I could get into this more, but it's basically holes in your GI tract, in your small intestine. And what happens is when you consume food, the proteins or the breakdown of those products are immediately released into the blood before they're metabolized. And they create reactions. They create autoimmunity, inflammation, it's food intolerances, medication, stress, toxins, bacteria, food practices. All of those lead to this leaky gut, and it's predominant. I don't want to call it epidemic, but So many people have this and have no clue that they have leaky gut. The great thing is AlphaMeta helps heal those holes. It rebuilds that interstitial layer inside the small intestine. And so it improves this leaky gut function. You know, you can see all these and the immune responses that can happen as a result of these food particles being released into the system, along with so many other things too. This even crosses the blood-brain barrier, you know. So, and when you think about it with Alzheimer's, what is that? You know, that's all cellular death, right? Immune system, first line of defense. You can see it there: skin, mucous membranes, the urine flow, the cilia, stomach acids, all those important. Then you have all the cells, the second line of defense. Where those cells come from? They've got to have the right food, the right particles to make them, right? All those trillions of them. Third line of defense, more cells. See, that's our immune system right there. And that's why AlphaMeta is so beneficial, because it helps the body create these cells. All right. If we don't have it, if we don't have the right nutrients to make these cells, we're not going to have a strong immune system. Microbiome. You're going to hear more and more about this because it's what we are. Our genetics, the environment, the diet, lifestyle, hormones, industry, all those can affect it. And it's our nose, mouth, lungs, stomach, colon, sexual organs, skin. It's who we are. You know, our microbiome, like I said earlier too, we've got trillions, if not zillions. I don't know the number. Like I said, numbers kind of escape me, even though I've got all A's in calculus and trigonometry. The bacteria, there's more bacteria in our body than cells. Like I said, there's good and bad. You know, metabolic dysfunctions, we talked about that, all the imbalances that can happen. And the basics of AlphaMeta: natural cellular healing power, minimize the metabolic dysfunction. We can prevent that from happening. That is the key. And that's what's so wonderful about AlphaMeta. And I'll show you why I can say that. What's in it? Polysaccharides for cellular energy production, polypeptides as raw materials to build new cells, and for cellular enzymes. Those enzymes all need amino acids to build them. Vitamin minerals, cofactors for enzyme, essential fatty acids, anti-inflammation, bowel function, phytonutrients, stimulator for enzyme production. You've heard me say that tonight over and over, right? Look at this. Enzymes, spark of life. Over 75,000 enzymes in the human body. You know, people, oh, I buy enzymes. I take digestive enzymes. You know, I take them sometimes too. As we get older, we don't have as much enzyme production if we don't take AlphaMeta. But anyway, if I'm traveling a lot, I definitely take them because I'm not eating my organic food. But here's the different enzymes. Energy production for sodium ATPase, sodium K ATPase, you know, those are essential. That's cellular energy. Then you have the digestion, proteins. If you don't have enough, cancer, lipase fats. If you don't have enough, cardiovascular disease can develop. Amylase for carbohydrates. You don't have enough, diabetes. Diabetes, oh, it is just exponentially just growing. As I mentioned earlier, obesity is one of the causes of diabetes, but it's like I said, diabetes is probably the #1 cause of disease today, because everybody who has diabetes, not everybody, but it leads to degeneration of the rest of the body. And it comes down to cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, you name it, cancers. People are more prone to these conditions. I mean, look at what's happened with the bug. You know, say, oh, everybody with diabetes needs to get vaccinated because they're more susceptible. It's true, their immune systems are compromised. So that's why you need to work as much as you can. And I'm going to show you some more research here that might motivate you. Enzymes for antioxidant, there it is, glutathione, cysteine, glutamine, and glycine. Key ingredients to form the glutathione. Everybody's heard of glutathione, right? But it's glutathionase, telomerase for stem cells, enzymes for anti-aging. So instant bioenergy supplies through these nutrients. Enzymes create energy, create healing power. It's that simple. It's that direct. Anti-aging, as I mentioned, metabolic cellular enzymes, how key those are for health, for life, and for optimal health. Skin beauty. That's one of the keys to here. You know, everybody wants to have nice skin. They want to have a nice appearance. I don't know anybody who doesn't, except maybe monsters or you know, the living dead. But anyway, they need antioxidants, amino acids. They need the right source. Like I said earlier, they fight the antioxidants because they destroy the skin and they kill the cells. And it's all beauty from within. That's what AlphaMeta is all about. Why do I say that? You all probably don't, many of you don't know Dr. Paragon from America, but he was one of the #1 top sellers for his books for many, many years. And he did this research for us with, and he used our product for many years. I think he still do, I don't know, in some of his formulations, which are in some of the biggest stores in America. And here's what we showed with the research he did. He did photo aging parameters, 4 weeks of use. Look at the wrinkle reduction. 81% of the people, pores less notable, 66%, smooth skin, 87%, firming skin, 69%, skin moisturized, brighter skin. Look at that, 84% of the people got positive results. That is phenomenal. And you can even use it topically, which I'll explain later, which we'll talk about, I hope. An overview of research findings. This shows the efficacy of blood glucose. 707 participants in Thailand that we used, and look at the results here. I won't get into it because my time is getting near the end, and because I want to leave open a lot of time for Q&A. So, because that's fun, and people always have questions, so I'm here to try to answer them. But look at the improvement. Before taking, 88% were over the 150 lab count for the blood glucose. Look at this afterwards. It converted to 62% being below, and look how it reduced it across the board. But you know, it wasn't so much we were looking at reducing the blood sugar. What we felt was most important is that we reduced significantly the diseases that these individuals had, what diabetes led to. And you can see here the percentages all above, 70% of the symptoms: constipation, eyesight, cataracts, heart, kidney, fatigue, skin allergy, gangrene. Look at that, 92% improvement. And think about how many toes and legs and extremities that AlphaMeta saved right there, and has over the years. It's just been so beneficial. Okay, this was Shorey Hospital. Another research we did. Shorey is the largest government hospital in Vietnam, and this individual, this man, he's wonderful. He was the director of the department, and so we went there. We did a study, and we used 100 plus of the staff, which were the doctors and the nurses, and told them not to change anything. Don't eat the same food. They're all under stress. I mean, I can tell you, it's unbelievable the stress they were under in this hospital. And look at this, after 3 months, such improvement of the increase in the beneficial cholesterol. You know, I was at a lecture once, I love telling this, with a Pfizer representative. He says, you know, we're all born with a certain amount of HDL. We're going to have it till we die. It's just the way it is. It's just life. And then I came on afterwards and showed this research where we were able to increase HDL, which is a beneficial cholesterol, and lower the bad cholesterol within 30 days. And he was angry, to say the least. Okay, he wouldn't talk to me afterwards, but it's true, and that is research that verifies it right there. And as I said earlier, research to me is the key to any product. You've got to prove its benefits and its efficacy. Don't just hype it. Look at Alzheimer's. See here, normal brain activity. This is somebody without Alzheimer's. Nobody's home. Cells are all dead. Well, we did this research to show, and this was at PNG Hospital, a research institute in Bangkok, with the doctor who is actually now the Surgeon General, which is the top doctor for all of Thailand. He did our research for us. He's still our good friend, still do further research. But we showed that here you see the cells that were exposed to a neurotoxin, and then look when they were protected by the AlphaMeta, look at the protection. Not only were they protected, and you can see the numbers, but the key was here is we saw regeneration of the axons and the dendrites, which are interconnections between the cell that communicates messages, which you got to have. You know, if cells can't communicate, they just die. It's kind of like you put a tiger in a cage and you know, you stuff it away, and poor thing will probably die. But anyway, yeah, if you don't have flowers that cross-pollinate, they won't produce. So that's all part of it. So we wanted to see what was happening, and so did Dr. Cyan, along with his associate from Emory University, Dr. Siddell. So they took this instrument, it's called an MTT colorimeter, and it measures ATP. It's one of the only instruments I know in the world that can actually measure energy in the body. Look at this, increased it by 54% over control. They couldn't believe it themselves. And then they saw the reason. They said, hey, well, this is a cell food. It produces cellular energy. That's why it's so beneficial. So lifestyle adjustment, that's what it comes down to for us. You know, we have to be willing to make the change. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? And I always say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them urinate. So anyway, healthy diet, less sugar, low salt. There's good salts. We need salt. You know, I feel a little differently about this. I do Himalayan and sometimes sea salt and some other natural salts, and not iodized salt. That is poison. That's the problem. That's the one that causes the problems. Low fat diet, and fat is beneficial. Things like avocados and coconut are so beneficial for you. You know, there's good fat and there's bad fat. Once they monkey with the fat, I don't call them monkeys, sorry. Once they use their technology to disturb the fats, then they create a problem because they hydrolyze and saturate them, and then they create a problem. They block arteries, blah, blah. Natural and organic whole food, prevent refined foods, avoid them as much as possible. Less red meat and more white fish, chicken, etc. And you know, I even say this, try to get wild fish as much as you can, because even now, if it's not organic, a lot of the fish ponds are just toxic, and they use antibiotics and steroids, and oh, salmon is worse. I just, if you saw some of the videos. Anyway, drink more water. You got to drink good, pure water. That is the key, and make sure it's pure and not the acidified stuff. There's this wonderful video by Dr. Emoto, I think is his name. He died recently, but it shows natural spring water, beautiful crystals, and it shows city water, and it's just this muck. You know, the crystals have all just dissolved, and it's just muck. You should look it up sometime. And also, if you sit a jar of water and you say, I love you, I love you, I love you every day, it forms these beautiful crystals. And the other one, you say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, you're ugly. And it just forms this mucky under the microscope. So that happens in our bodies too. And that's why we talk about body, mind, spirit. We need to tell ourselves that we're beautiful and we're wonderful as well, because how much of our body is water? Think about that, you know? So got to have that positive attitude. Look in the mirror and say, I love you. I need to do more of that too. Regular exercise, so important. Really, if you're just walking, I'm not much on jogging because most of it's on concrete for the majority of people, and it creates too much trauma. You know, slow, fast walking is wonderful. Stop smoking, please. Avoid too much alcohol, if any at all. Regular medical checkups, better stress management, and positive thinking. You know, for stress management, whether it's prayer or meditation or yoga, whatever you do, Pilates, please get that relaxation. It's so, so important. Take time in the day to just sit, close your eyes, and just be within your being, you know, just be at peace and still. So, so important for the whole being, you know. Otherwise, it's like an engine that just runs all the time. I mean, you got to give it a break sometimes and oil it up and give it good pure oil, right? So recommended consumption, sprinkle 1 sachet onto water, beverages, superfood. Some people put it under the tongue, which is great too. But you can mix it in anything. Don't mix it in milk. Milk is really not the good food for you overall, I must say. We'll get into it right now. Stir and drink freshly 3 times daily for the first 3 months. It doesn't say warm water. I always use warm water. Every day I start my day with a glass of lemon warm water. Sometimes I have baking soda too, but then after that I have the AlphaMeta. And warm water is so good for the body. Don't drink cold drinks with your food. It suppresses the digestive enzymes. I see people drink ice water and iced tea with their food. I go, oh my gosh, they're creating a bomb inside their stomach. Stir and drink freshly 3 times daily for the first 3 months, and then 1 to 2 times daily for maintaining. Anybody who has an illness, please take at least 3 times a day, because it'll help you overcome it so much better and recover from the illness so much quicker. So that's what it's all about. I like the idea of the spark of life, because that's what it is. When you look at it, one of the keys is the enzymes, but going back to the core, what Lexus said too, of life, it's energy. It's all about energy and getting the proper nutrients the body needs to create that energy and rebuild that cell. Cell creates more energy. So AlphaMeta is the best food for the cells I've found in the world. So thank you very much. So I'd love to hear questions.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mark, for the amazing sharing about the AlphaMeta, which is the food of the cell, right? And also the spark of life for your body energy. Okay, so we will start the question and answer session. So I already collect some of the questions, Dr. Mark. Okay, so the first one is very simple. As you mentioned, we can take the AlphaMeta 3 times per day, right? So we would suggest that we take the AlphaMeta before we having meal or after. Yeah, which one will be better?
Can you excuse me 1 second? My battery's dying.
Okay.
I need to plug it up.
Okay.
Zoom takes a lot of battery. You know that? It's amazing. Takes energy.
But we have the AlphaMeta,
computer.
so we still have the energy, right?
That's right. I've got plenty. It's just my computer doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have any question, okay, just leave in the live chat, then I will collect the question and also to ask Dr. Mark, for the answer.
Okay, I'm hooked up. Great.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Okay, so the first question is very simple. So as you mentioned, we need to take AlphaMeta 3 times per day, right? At the first 2 months. So you would suggest that we take the AlphaMeta before we take food or after? Yeah, which one will be better?
I always recommend before, because what it can help, it can actually help you digest your food, because it helps you create the enzymes, which is a key. And also you absorb it directly. It'll just go right into your bloodstream. And depending on what you eat, it may not absorb as well. I mean, some people eat a lot of crap. That's all there is to it. There's too much fast food out there and too many things that block the digestive system and cause congestion and other problems. And so it's best on an empty stomach. It's just fantastic, and it tastes so good. Sometimes what I do, I'll be honest, not all the time, but sometimes I let it turn into like a we call it a mush, and then just eat it with a spoon. But sometimes I even add a little honey to it, but good pure raw honey. But it's best just to take fresh right away when you mix it, and just drink it down, and your body will absorb it so much more completely pre-meal rather than post-meal. But anyway, your body's going to use it. It's just, I think it's better to take before, but anytime, anyway, if you get it in your being, it's going to help.
Okay, so after you take the AlphaMeta, is it recommended to consume more water, to take more water after you have the AlphaMeta?
Almost always I recommend taking more water. It can help. It's not absolutely essential with AlphaMeta, but the problem is, and I've lived off and on in Asia for over 25 years, and coming and going, and many things. And I must say, and America's no better, but most people do not drink enough water at all. It's just amazing that we probably don't. I don't like over consuming, but we do need to have enough. And that's one thing too, is AlphaMeta is going to work better if you do have enough water in your system. As I mentioned at the first of the presentation, you've got nutrients, oxygen, and water. Those are key. And unfortunately, the majority of people do not get enough water. You can just sit around and watch people. I mean, so many people will drink with their meals, which actually is not the best time. And then they're doing, many people will put ice, which is the worst thing they can do. You know, you should be drinking a warm water, warm lemon water, something of that nature. Even a warm coffee sometimes can help. But, you know, the cold suppresses your digestive enzymes. So I don't recommend taking cold water after AlphaMeta. It should be like a warm or room temperature, you know. Don't shock the system. I'm not talking about hot, but warm is better. I mean, my gosh, our bodies are normally 98.6 degrees. That's pretty warm inside there, you know, when you think about it. You know, outside it gets 98.6 and you're cooking, but our bodies inside, I'm talking about centigrade, I mean Fahrenheit, of course. And so, yeah, warm water is just more absorbed easily, and it will help AlphaMeta because you got to have those three ingredients. The other thing is most people don't breathe. How many people breathe into their belly? 90% of my patients who come in when I was practicing, I first work on the breath right away because that's the key. They're all chest breathers. Oh yeah, I'm opening my breath. I'm opening my chest, and they cut off 3/4 of their lungs because they're not breathing into their belly. Oxygen is key, you know? So yeah, breathe afterward and take some water afterwards.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Dr. Mark. Okay, the next question, okay, really professional. AlphaMeta is made from rice, the brown rice, organic brown rice. So some medical doctors do not encourage the diabetic to take too much rice. So is this suitable for the diabetic patients which do not shoot up their blood sugar level to use the AlphaMeta?
Well, you know, the research, we show that it actually reduces blood sugar, which is interesting. And there's several reasons why here. You know, the majority of people are eating white rice. White rice is going to lead to blood sugar spikes. There's no doubt about it. It's a carbo that your body just doesn't utilize properly. I mean, if you're using brown rice, it's much better because it breaks down slower. And so the sugars are released at a much more gradual level. But their doctors are right in that respect that diabetics should not eat too much white rice because, I mean, it's just one of the causes. I mean, you can look at people in the world who live on white rice, basically, and you look at their bellies. They've got these, most of them will have these little fat bellies. And so it's not utilized as well. The body doesn't recognize it. Most of the nutrients have been deprived, as particularly the fiber. And they put in, you know, they can put in some synthetic nutrients, but I could tell you stories about in research that have been done way back in the 30s and 40s to show that synthetic vitamins just do not work as well as natural from food sources and such. Dr. Royal Lee did the greatest research on it. Oh, what a just a genius of a human being. And he showed and proved how synthetic vitamins don't work. A lot of the research is done today, Alexis, which is kind of interesting about, well, vitamin A didn't work for this, vitamin E didn't work for that, vitamin C didn't work for that. Well, they were always using synthetic forms of it. And of course, it's not going to work as well. Any research you've seen using food source vitamins, natural sources of vitamins, the improvements happen. There's just across the board, you know, it's a stark difference between a chemical form, which has lost its life force. That's the key, the spark of life. It's lost that spark of life. Now, AlphaMeta, getting back to it, it's absorbed so well and taken into the cell so directly that it doesn't spike the blood sugar. Now, keep in mind, if somebody were to do a finger prick right after maybe an hour of taking AlphaMeta, it may spike a little bit, but every food does, you know? I mean, I have perfect blood sugar. I mean, it's just ideal. I mean, I'm not bragging, but it is. I maintain it. And I don't have that problem. But people who do, And even me, I can eat something and about an hour later test my blood and I'll have a high blood sugar. Of course we're going to, the body's metabolizing it, but then it'll take it and utilize it. So that's the key, is that you're able to use those sugars and use them for energy rather than put them into fat, and rather than spike the insulin in the body, which is hyperinsulinemia, and then creating lipogenesis, which is fat in the body. So the AlphaMeta is different. And the research proves it. I mean, all they have to do is show the doctor that research and say, hey, but look what it did for 707 people, 90 something percent of them. And I got to tell you, I think the only ones who didn't benefit were those who actually probably didn't take it on a regular basis. You know, the key with Somchai says, which we talked about earlier, is that initial period where you're doing 3 a day to balance the system. Then you can cut back into for maintenance, you know. But first thing off, you have to balance the system. You have to create that metabolic balance. Then you've got it handled. Then you can not take quite as much in just a maintenance level, unless you need it. You know, we can always be exposed to something or get out of balance from eating too much crappy food, you know, and junk food, and then we'll have to take a little extra.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mark. So the next question, when you share about the benefit to the people, okay, different group of people, one is about the children and the kid, right? So is the AlphaMeta good for the children, especially who want to have a better learning process?
Oh, it's so fantastic in that respect. I wish every child in the world was taking it, because it's brain development, memory, all of those factors, just having better retention period, better understanding, more clarity, better mind focus. The focus is incredible. You know, we've had autistic children. One of their problems, of course, is their focus. And ADD, they just can't keep their mind centered. Have gotten great results with. I'm not saying treating autism. We don't do that. We don't treat any disease, okay? But autistic children who are diagnosed with autism or ADD, attention deficit disorder, they benefited so well when they take AlphaMeta, and the parents are just amazed. So, and also growth. I mean, you know, I particularly found in Asia, everybody thinks they should be taller. I'm not everybody, come on, I'm sorry to generalize, but so many people think about how they want their children to be taller. And we've seen AlphaMeta help that, because it's all cells, right? That's what it is, and hormones. And so, I mean, it can be genetic, and they won't. I mean, we are what we are. We're not all 7'4" basketball players, stars, but we are what we are. But it can help in that overall development of the brain. And children, they're at that ripe stage where it's kind of like children and animals. It's so interesting, and I've seen this because I also did a lot of veterinarian medicine when I was in Kentucky in my practice. Treat a lot of animals too, but invariably we see in children, they respond faster because they're more sensitive. Unfortunately, and I'll get into another aspect, their also brains are so sensitive, particularly to electromagnetic radiation. When they're sticking those cell phones up to their ears, you can see the heat that it's creating in their brains and penetrating is horrible. You know, that's why we're seeing such a spike in brain cancers in children these days. And if you did the research, anybody do the research, they'll see they've got to keep those phones away from their heads, you know. So why I'm saying that is they're so sensitive, and they're going to take it in, and they're rebuilding cells, they're regenerating, creating new ones all the time. We get to a certain age, we're not creating as many, but we need to keep feeding our stem cells and our cells so that they're maintaining, and they are keeping the ones that we have active and alive and healthy. And that's optimum health. That's what it's all about.
Okay, so where did the infant around 1 to 2 years old can also take AlphaMeta?
You know, they can. You know, it's like when you think about it, one of the first foods that many Asians fed their babies when they stopped nursing, well, they didn't have to stop nursing, but when they started eating solid food, What was it? It was rice. It was rice gruel.
Yeah.
That's what this is. You know, this is just even a better form of it. They don't need as much. That's the great thing about it. You know, they're going to just thrive on half or a quarter as much, you know, so, and start off gradually, but it's a fantastic food for young infants, you know, as soon as, I don't want to call it weaning, but as soon as they start on solid food, why not AlphaMeta? Why not a pure form of rice? It's the best thing they could do. They're going to be so smart.
Okay, great. For another group of people, okay, the people who is having disease or actually it's a patient, okay, so they need to take some medicine. So if they also want to take AlphaMeta for their cell, yeah, because it's food for their cell, right? So they can take the AlphaMeta and the medicine together, or need to have some different consideration.
Which medicine were you referring to?
The question is about chronic disease.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just
Yeah.
say this about it. What we have to look at AlphaMeta as being is a food. You know, are they going to stop eating food when they are on their medication? No, you know, and so what AlphaMeta can do is it can help lower the side effects that can happen. We've seen that over and over again, and people who've just been on chemo, how quick they can start recovering. And even surgeries, quick they can recover because it's cellular growth, it's cellular food. But you know, my thing about this is like, and doctors need to realize this too. Are they going to tell them to stop eating rice because they're on medication? No. You know, that's the key. It's just, it's not contraindicated because it's a food. It's a functional food supplement. So we need to look at AlphaMeta as being that, you know, that it's just, hey, this is a raw, pure food, the best we could possibly get for ourselves. And that's what we're all about.
Okay. So it's great for the patient who want to have a better recovery. Okay, so AlphaMeta will be a good choice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So another question, okay, Dr. Mark, it's about, okay, another key benefit of taking AlphaMeta is to fight for the premature aging, right? So it's good for our skin. So whether we can use the AlphaMeta as a mask, okay, forget about all your face mask and also lotion, forget about that. Just use the AlphaMeta for having a mask. Is it okay?
I wouldn't say forget everything else they're doing. AlphaMeta masks can be phenomenal. I mean, if they just want to see the difference by just using the AlphaMeta mask, you know, 15, 30 minutes a night and wash it off, that's fantastic. I'm not going to tell anybody to stop using their cosmetics or, you know, their lotions or whatever it may be, but and I'm not going to say they don't need them, but what we do know is that AlphaMeta can feed the cells from the outside in, can hydrate, can do so many beneficial for the skin. You know, it's the same that I say about people that say, well, should I stop my drugs? Should I stop my diabetes medication? No. In my practice, I would never cut somebody off right away. I have many associates who did that, and they had major problems, you know. You've got, when somebody has become used to this particular product, let's say somebody's been doing a lotion that helps their skin for 20 years, you don't want to just have them stop because their skin has become, I don't want to call it addicted, but has acclimated to having that substance create this or that effect. The same with drugs, you know, you do not want to just say, hey, stop your medication. You've got to wean somebody. You have to say, okay, start taking 3/4, start taking half, use a little bit less, use a little bit less. You know, particularly diabetes, monitor your blood sugar. You know, you've got finger pricks, you can do it every day and see how it's affecting your system. The same with the mask. The mask can be phenomenal. You know, I should do more of them, and I'm more inspired now to do more. I've been traveling a lot, so now I'm finally home in my little jungle tree house, and so it is so beneficial, and it can enhance anything else you're using. Now, I would take off anything they're using because most of these cosmetics, they block the skin. You know, they're particularly I hate to say it, but I'm going to put it out there. Sunscreens are one of the because of the tanning and such, but the darkening of the skin. You've got to have vitamin D. And a lot of the oral vitamin Ds just don't do it. They're not absorbed properly and broken down and utilized for the immune system. And there's so much, excuse me, research out there now showing that low vitamin D, low immune system. There's no doubt about it. So it's essential to get that sunshine. And I'm sorry, I got off track there. Why was I talking about the vitamin D? But it's just key for the skin. But taking off all the cosmetics which may block, oh, the sunscreen, yeah. They've shown SPFs to cause cancer, you know? Anyway, so another story is clear your skin before you put the AlphaMeta on, or you're wasting it, you know, because your skin's blocked, it's not going to absorb it. So get all the gunk off and then put it on. At nighttime is a wonderful time to do it.
Okay, so another question. Wow, it's very important. Okay, Dr. Ma. So AlphaMeta, is it good for our immune system, and also how it can help for the people in cancer? Yeah, so this is a very important question. Immune system and the patient cancer.
Well, I'll go back
great,
to
amazing.
what I
Thank you,
originally
Dr.
said. Hold on a second. These ants have gotten into my tea. Hey, hold on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know how they find my tea so fast. Anyway, I drink puer tea, but with a little honey. Anyway, first, what I'd like to say is we're not treating any disease. You know, this isn't for cancer. This isn't for diabetes. This isn't for Alzheimer's. It's for the body to be able to heal itself. And with cancer, that's the key to, you know, the regeneration of cells. So important that the body's regenerating, but also prevention. If your cells are getting the proper nutrition, they're not going to mutate. They're mutating because of the toxins and the free radicals and all of that. If you're eating food that causes free radicals, you know, the MSGs and the diet pops. Let me tell you, I just got to put this out there. Diet colas, diet anything is the worst food anybody can eat. Aspartame is a toxin. John Kennedy's brother or nephew, he's really big in America for lots of things and exposing all this. He and even Donald Rumsfeld, who was the one behind aspartame and NutraSweet, they knew it's a toxin. It kills people. You can see too the research that shows people who drink Diet Coke get fatter than people who drink regular Coke. You know, it's all a big farce, and it's all a big hype, and it's all a big misconception. Anything that says diet on it, you should avoid it because that's aspartame. It's NutraSweet, and it's a toxin. And they've shown it creates neurological problems. My mentor, he lived to be 98. The only reason he died is because his wife died a year earlier. He couldn't live without her. But we had a child come to our clinic in Kentucky, and it was in a coma. And we said, oh my God, take it to the hospital right away. And they said, no, we don't go to hospitals. And said, oh my gosh. So I sat down and I said, well, what's wrong? It says, well, we don't know. I said, well, what was happening today? He says, well, we went to a picnic and he just kept drinking because it was so hot. All these bottles of diet pop. He went into a coma. And we finally got him to go to the hospital. But by the time they got there, unfortunately, the child had died. It was straight from the NutraSweet. And they've shown that over and over and over again, what a toxin it is. So just putting that out, people should avoid it. So I get off on these tangents, sorry, but we were on the immune system, right?
Yeah.
That was the question. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah, yeah.
food. Yeah, we're not curing any disease. Like I said, for cancer, it regenerates cells. That's what is so, so important. And well, like I said earlier too, we've had so many people who did chemo and afterwards take the product and recover so well. Many who were taking it while they had chemo, they didn't get the indigestion, you know, the digestive problems and nausea that happens. So it comes back to the key about AlphaMeta. It's a food. You know, so often that doctors have called me, hey, what are we doing? My patient can't take this. I send them the research. And I also say, hey, it's a food. You know, it's not a drug. It's not a vitamin. It's not that at all. This is just a ground up food. And we explain them to that, they get it, you know. And so and then of course many of them have converted and actually gotten their patients on it. So and taking it because they see the results. But for cancer, like I said before, we're not treating any disease, but I can say any metabolic imbalance, like I talked earlier, 85% of disease today, whether it's cardiovascular, Alzheimer's, neurological, cancer, diabetes, whatever it may be, it's going to benefit them because it is a cell food and everything happens in those little bitty cells in our body and mind.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Mark.
And
So
back to this, you know, back to the bug, which I was mentioning earlier.
okay.
All the people, maybe some have just come on tonight. All the people who I know have taken AlphaMeta, they had no serious symptoms if they got COVID at all. I didn't. You know, I didn't. I was exposed all over the world because I was traveling so much when I could. But that's just saying that's me. But it strengthens the immune system. The immune system is all about the cells. If you're not feeding the cells the right energy and the building blocks they need to create new ones, you're going to be immune compromised. There's no doubt about it. Plus also it's the inflammatory aspect. We showed through the research how we could lower the inflammation in the body with AlphaMeta. And that's the key, particularly with this bug, because the big cause is inflammation. And now it's gotten even more progressive where it's gotten into the heart and other organs, kidney failure, Alzheimer's. We're getting a lot of more Alzheimer's. The death rates have gone on and on and on. We don't get into that. So a lot of it's political, but it's also facts. So the immune system in cancer, it's all about cells, cell, cell, cell. And that's what AlphaMeta is all about. Food for the cell, food for the cell.
Okay, so Dr. Mark, AlphaMeta is the food of cell. So one last question, very interesting. Yeah, whether our consumer can take AlphaMeta as a meal replacement. For example, they don't take in breakfast. They just take 2 sachets of the AlphaMeta. Is it okay for them for the nutrition supply for the morning and even for afternoon or evening?
Here's my feeling about that. You know, many times in the morning, I will fast on just AlphaMeta. Now, if somebody's very active and physical, they may need more nutrients in the morning. Now, it's definitely not a meal replacement. That I would never claim AlphaMeta to be, because you still need a lot of other nutrients, such as your vitamins and your minerals and your unsaturated fatty acids and on and on. But it's going to help you utilize all those other foods so much more. But occasionally I'll go a whole day fasting. I call it fasting. It's not really fasting, but just on a mono diet of mono food choice. I don't call it diet. Mono food choice of AlphaMeta. And it's a wonderful way to purify the system. You know, some of the foremost natural health practitioners in the world, they would always fast, some once a week, some once a month, but all of them probably once a month. And just to give the body a break. You know, it's so important. I mean, it's a machine too, and it needs a break. It gets overwhelmed, constant food. It's hard to regenerate when your body's busy digesting all the time, so we need to have that time too for it to detox. You can't detox when you're digesting. And so it's a great detox in that respect, because it gives the body, it energizes all the organs, but it also gives the body the opportunity to rest with regards to heavy digestive processes. Digestion takes a lot of energy. I mean, prime example, watch a lot of people, particularly people, I notice this a lot. And keep in mind, most noodles today are wheat. They're not rice anymore, they're wheat. Look at the label. But so many people eat big meals and you see them go over. What do? They go to sleep. Their energy is just depleted because digestion takes a lot of energy. And if you take AlphaMeta before a meal or even with a meal, you're going to have more complete digestion and more energy for those processes. So that's an important aspect. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ma. Okay, so thank you so much for tonight, because our schedule is 10 minutes, but thank you, our audience, for more questions here. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Ma, okay, for all your supporting tonight. So everybody, please also say thank you to Dr. Ma. Okay, so AlphaMeta, the Spark of Life, is now available in Visual global markets. So please contact the one who shared you tonight's training, the sharing, for more information about this amazing product, and also for our most updated promotion. Okay, so please keep sharing this amazing product to the one you love, okay, to helping you and also your friends and also family to enjoy a healthy life. Yeah, the optimal healthy lifestyle. Okay, so please also keep following our global website, www.beastworld.com, for more product information and also the context of our branches. And also we have the social media account, Beast World Global. Okay, you can search and find us on YouTube and also on Facebook. So tonight's sharing, we will also have a director card, okay, on the social media. Okay, you can also do review and learn more information from Dr. Mark sharing. Okay, so in the future, okay, in the coming November, we will also invite Dr. Mark to have more training and more important information about our health and also keep young, okay, in the coming November. Okay, thank you, Dr. Mark.
Thank you all very much. My pleasure.
Yeah, so please keep follow us for the new training arrangement. Okay, so on our Facebook and also on our YouTube. Okay, take care and goodbye. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Good morning.